Okay, so today we're going to do block calendars and how to systemize your everyday routine. So what I'm going to do first is show you mine. Obviously, mine is from more of a staff point of view, but basically what I have is we have a stand-up um, office meeting every single morning just so that we can check in on each other, see if there's anything that needs to be done. So what I do is from 9 to 10, I have stand up slash email answerings because I always like to try and get as many emails as I can in the beginning. And then every Monday, I do teach a tech onboarding class. So I have that in my block calendar for every single Monday. And then something that I do, which is something I'm going to talk about systemizing for you guys, is highlighted tasks. So something actually Kaylee Lance, who's on the transaction coordination team at some of the offices within BCP, she actually taught me this. So basically, you would make your list. I prefer to make my list the day before. Obviously, your guys' schedule is a little different, but what I do is before I leave the office, I'll write out my entire to-dos for the next day. So any appointments, any tasks I need to do, anyone I need to reach out to. And what I'll do is highlight the things that I need to get done by tomorrow. So, say I was supposed to do something today and I kind of like put it off. I'll make sure I add it to tomorrow and I highlight that. And then I know when I look at it tomorrow to try and do those highlighted tasks before I do anything. So I think that's still great. If you guys have, say you maybe have a CMA appointment, coming up on Wednesday, that would be something you want to make sure that you probably have done today so that tomorrow you don't have to worry about it. On Wednesday that you're already prepared, you have everything printed out that you need to do. And then I schedule in lunch because something I've learned is when you're going busy, 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 you forget to eat, and stop and just take a breather. So I do schedule that. Not that I always eat at 12, but it's just a reminder for me to, when I get a second, to have lunch. Um, then Elise and I do share a tech calendar so that we know who's teaching what. So like today, I have the block calendar class. I have the ask us anything on Thursday. Anything in purple is the classes that I know are on the calendar for this week. I do have a daily wrap up as well. So that one obviously is again to make that to-do list. And if there's any emails that I need to answer before I leave, I have that for 4:45. So it definitely helps a lot. And obviously yours is going to look a little more different, but what I do is this isn't like the calendar that I add, appointments to or things like that. And pre-COVID, I would add, right now we're doing a lot more class heavy, because we can't all to get together. But what I'll do also is every week after I kind of see on Friday what next week's going to look like, what I'll do in my block calendar is, okay, on Thursday from 1 to 2:30, I block this out for appointments so that if anyone needs to meet, I know that on Thursdays from 1 to 2:30, that's my availability. And the number one thing about block calendars is the whole point is that you follow it. You don't want to move things around. So once you get the hang of it, at first, you're going to move things around just because you're gonna be like, oh, I can do this later, or, I don't need to do this today. So I also have my own calendar. So if you put both of them on, it kind of gets a little hectic. So what I'll do is I'll look at my block calendar for when I'm making appointments or if I need to run and go get something. But otherwise, I'll try and stick. I had to make it separate because I share my calendar with Elise, and then she was like, "This is too many things on one calendar." But I'll mark out, when I'm out of the office, when we have team meetings, and anything, appointment wise goes on here as well. So where you would make that block calendar, it's up to you if you want to have it on one calendar with where you book things as well. But what you would do is you would scroll down and in other calendars, you can click plus and you would click create new calendar. And you can just name this block calendar if you would like. And I'm going to walk through, a real estate version, and create calendar. And if you want, I can share this with you. You won't be able to edit it because it's mine, but if you just want to look at it so that when you're copying yours over, you can. So I'm going to click create calendar. and it's created. And then as you can see, I have a lot of calendars. But let me see which one it would be. This is already the one I use. So I'm just going to do agent block calendar just so that I remember where it is. Okay, so now you can see it says agent block calendar and put green. You can change that color. It doesn't have to be that color. So let's say that I have just the agent block green on, and I want to change that to maybe a purple. We can change it to purple, and you just hover over, click the 3 dots, and you would choose a different color. So what you're going to want to do, name some things that obviously lead gen, that's definitely something that you want to make sure is somewhere wherever it fits in your calendar. You know, what are some other things, if you guys want to say that you think, you know, maybe obviously you're going to have lead gen, appointments, you know, paperwork, you know, stat polling, whatever, you know, maybe you want to make sure that you put on their social media and make sure that you're interacting with other people, you're posting on there. So this is just an example. If there's anything that you guys have questions on, feel free to unmute yourselves. Or if you think there's something that, you know, from a real estate agent point of view that you might want in the block calendar as well, go for it. You can either put it in the chat or you can just unmute yourselves. So the great thing is that at BCP, we do have morning mindset, as well as the BCP call. And before that, you do have pivot shift. So if you really want to follow the model of lead genning right in the morning, I would really just add those with the Zoom link so that, you know, you wake up, you get on it. The pivot shift ahead, you can either watch in the Facebook group or you can join in the Zoom, but you would go to their Facebook group. So let's say that you were going to do that. Obviously, that's going to be more of a mindset thing. So that starts at 8 and goes to 8:45. So you might want to put, you know, pivot shift ahead. And remember, follow your calendar. So if it's on your calendar, you're waking up, you're getting on it. Doesn't matter if you're eating breakfast, maybe you're doing your morning workout, as long as you get on it and you have that consistency, because that's what's really going to help you master your calendar and make sure that you don't feel like you're running in 7 different directions. So pivot shift ahead. And the link for that is the Facebook. So I can just go to that to get the link for you guys. And it is on every single office's calendar as well. So it's pivot shift ahead daily. You do have to join the group, but you know, you'll get accepted. Just make sure you join it, and save. Before you save, because this does happen every day, maybe for you, you know, maybe there's only certain days you can. Maybe you're bringing your kids to school. Maybe you have some other, you know, obligations in the morning. You don't have to go to this every day, but if you really want to attend it, I would pick either 2 days or even once a week that you're going to commit to going to that every single day. It's on your calendar. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. So, you know, you don't have to go to it weekly. But if you want to go to multiple days a week, then you can click where it says does not repeat. Click on that. You can choose weekly on Mondays, every weekday, or say maybe you want to do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can click custom and you can click on the days. So let's just say I was doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm going to click done and then save. And now that'll show up on my calendar Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now for me, I like color coding. So, you know, whatever color makes you think of mindset, you know, if you're going to attend pivot shift ahead, and then you're also going to attend David's class at 8:45, I would make those the same color, but maybe paperwork is a different color than appointments. You don't have to do that, but you know, if that makes sense to you and you like color coding, that will definitely help you as well. So like I said, the next one is morning mindset. So I'm just going to pull up the calendar so I can copy these links for you guys. So again, David does have this every single morning. But again, if you think that committing, even at first, if you just want to go once a week, you know, go once a week. And you can go to morning mindset. And I can tell you, whenever I'm able to hop on both these calls, I definitely mentally feel more prepared for the day. If you're into mindset and stuff, I think this is a great way to start. And like I said, this calendar is all about you. Personally, I time block as much as possible. So let's say that this one, I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to change this to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and done and save. And let me just let them in. So maybe you're going, obviously for, morning mindset, it's better to have your face on. All the agents on there are great. But pivot shift ahead, maybe that's when you also do your morning walk. That's a great way to, if you're struggling to, get outside, some days you're like, I'm just wrapped up in all the paperwork I have to do, or, making sure I'm pulling all the comps for everything. That's a great way to kind of have yourself accountable. But maybe you want to just add in there, at 7:30, you're going to go on your morning walk. And that is going to be 7:30 to 8. And, if you want to keep going, if it's warm outside, then you can keep going and get on pivot shift while you're doing it. If it's cold, maybe you want to get back home. But this one, let's just say that we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And personally, because this is something that's more personal and not business related, I personally would change the color. That's just me. So I would change the color to blue or something else. Again, you don't have to do that. That's just the way I think, to kind of be able to visualize when you're looking at your calendar. Now, lead gen. Obviously, you're not forced to get on that BCP call, but it definitely is great. You don't hear each other lead gen, but it is a huge accountability. And usually with lead gen, that's the number one thing that, makes you remember, like, I got to make those calls, and, those people are going to hold you accountable. And also Sally, Mary Beth, all the coaches will give you scripts. So usually from 9:15 to 9:30, they'll do like some scripts that you can use and ask around, who's calling who. So I think it's great. Again, even if you can't get it on every day, try just doing Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever you want. Obviously a block calendar can kind of be a little overwhelming, because the whole point is to block out your whole day so that there's nothing that can interfere. So if you're first doing this and it seems like a little scary, maybe just attend that weekly, that daily lead gen call, twice a week. So let's say that we're going to go Tuesday to Thursday. We're going to do BCP lead gen call. And we are going to add that Zoom link. And like I said, I think this is great because it gives you a place to have that accountability. So again, I'm going to change this to Tuesday and Thursday. Mondays can get kind of crazy. Maybe I want to do my lead gen in the afternoon. So right now we're just going to do the BCP lead gen call Tuesdays and Thursdays. Obviously, again, your schedule may look a little different. You may have children, or maybe you do something with your friends every week. This is just really to help you, show you where to go about that. So again, if you like color coding, sometimes people don't like it. Maybe you want to make all the lead gen spots, when you're calling, the same color. So if you want to change this color, you can change it to, let's say, green. Green's money. So by lead genning, you're going to get more money because you're going to get more clients. Whatever colors make sense to you, or you can just keep it all the same color that you decide you want the calendar. So then maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to do our lead gen, in the afternoon, maybe around like 3:00. Then we're going to do it till 4:30, so that if we need to make any appointments, later in the evening, we can do that. So we're going to say lead gen. And again, we're going to change this color to green to match the other ones. Again, this one doesn't need a Zoom link, but we are going to repeat this for Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Done and save. So now obviously you kind of blocked out your mornings and your afternoons. Now, obviously with appointments, especially when you're starting out, you obviously want to make sure that you're available to your clients a lot. but also you don't want to be burnt out. And obviously you have multiple clients. You can't say yes to everyone for a 2 o'clock appointment. So, maybe on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, based on your clients, maybe a lot of your clients at the moment they want to do morning appointments, or maybe, obviously with kids going back to school, some parents might be available to go during the day. So again, that's something that I think based on who your clients are now, you can kind of move that one around, but that's going to coincide with the admin paperwork side. So, maybe right now, based on your clients, you're going to do, 10 to 12. And that's going to be appointments. And again, make sure that the whole point is that you want to make sure that when you get an appointment put, 10 to 11 is, Chris and Lisa. And make sure to use the description. So in the description, put going to 123 Main Street, Midland Park, 74 Godwin Avenue, Ridgewood. So that when you're on the go, you don't have to like go back and forth to where you're going or type it in. You can just copy and paste this into your GPS and save. So that if you click on that, it'll have all the description in there. Again, maybe you want to make appointments green because hopefully that means money. So you can save that as well. And not necessarily, like I said, the appointments part is a little difficult, but you still want to make sure that you're setting boundaries for yourself, because although it may seem a little crazy, especially if you're a new agent, you want to make sure that you're doing everything. And obviously you are, but you want to make sure that you're not going crazy in your head. You want to make sure that mentally you're good and that you're refreshed. So make sure to still, if they want to see something at 8 o'clock, but you promised your family, that you would watch a movie with them, tell them, hey, I can't do it tonight, but, tomorrow at X, Y, and Z times I'm available. Always give other options. And that's why having a block calendar can also be good, because then you can look at your calendar tomorrow, and coincide with either showing time or whatever the listing is using and say, okay, I have that appointment at 10, where we're going to be. It shouldn't be longer than an hour, give yourself 30 minutes to get driving. Cause every time you put in a certain time, there's always traffic. So you want to give yourself some lead time to get to that next appointment. But I think the whole paperwork thing is also huge. Like I said, you want to make sure you have time to prep for either your buyer consults or listing consults. So maybe that's, after you do lead gen, maybe that's, 4:30 to 5:30, you're, prepping for consults, or maybe you're doing that right after your appointments. And again, you don't have to go exactly how this is. I'm just showing you how it can really help you, throughout your process, especially because to be able to handle a lot of transactions, you need to make sure that your business is organized, and blocking your calendar can definitely help with that. So maybe again, Mondays, I feel like are crazy for anyone, for any profession. I feel like Mondays always get crazy. So maybe that on Mondays, that prepping for consults is, in the afternoon. So we're going to save that just for Monday. And then maybe Wednesday through Thursday, you do that at 11, and even if, say, maybe this week you don't have an appointment, but next week you do, and you maybe don't have that many appointments that day, you're done with lead gen, you've already emailed them, made those appointments with them, followed up with them, might as well just get ahead of the game and prep everything for your appointment next week. So that if next week gets busy or the end of the week gets busy, you don't have to worry about like, where am I going to find the time to make sure that I have my listing presentation, the comps, everything to make sure that I get this listing. So always, even if don't delete it from your calendar, because you're always going to have an appointment, even if it's 2 weeks out, prep it all, maybe comps wait, but make sure that listing presentation is prepared, print it out, maybe go drive around the neighborhood so you can give them some tips on what you've seen in the market. Maybe go to a few realtor open tours or open houses if they're in that time as well. just to make sure you're extra prepared, and then you won't feel as rushed, that day before, trying to make sure you have everything. So this one, we're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and save. And then maybe on Friday morning, since we're not going that pivot shift ahead, I don't think anyone goes to appointments at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that would be the perfect time to do that prepping on Friday, for consults or any other prepping. If you block that time out, maybe you're not prepping, but you still have that blocked time. Use that to do paperwork, or use that maybe to hop on a class. That's another thing that I think always add in your calendar, maybe not in your block calendar, but you are able to see classes for the whole week. Go through that week and see what classes are really important for you that you really want to attend live, and put them in your calendar so that you don't have any excuse to not go, or maybe you book an appointment over that. Obviously, if your client, that's the only time they can go, maybe you don't go to the class because we'll probably be teaching it again, but it's still good to have that in there. Obviously, maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've seen people are starting to do realtor tours, not so much, but once those come around, I definitely block for realtor tours. I think it's a great way to see what's on the market. Fridays, I'm teaching a class on Wednesday about YouTube videos. Maybe on Fridays, you want to do a weekend market update, block that in for after morning mindset, just a quick, 30 minutes for your live weekly market update, get behind the camera. And if you have it in the calendar, then it's just going to become natural for you to do that every single time. So obviously we have some blanks, and it's perfectly fine to have some blanks. Like I said, make sure that you put in somewhere lunch. Obviously, if you have to go to an appointment, that's fine. But even just getting that notification will remind you to eat something. Cause I know a lot of people that are like, oh, it's 4 o'clock. I should probably go grab something to eat. And I think everyone does that, when you're on the roll. And like I said, if you are really family oriented and you want to make sure that you're spending time with your family and not, working because you have work to do, put that in your calendar. Like if you and your family eat at 6 o'clock every night, and you want to make sure you're sitting at the dinner table with them at least 3 times a week, put that in your calendar where, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock, you're eating at home. And then if you have to go on an appointment after, that's okay. But you're making sure that your family is your number one priority. And like I said, lead gen, definitely want to put in your calendar. Make sure to put stuff that helps you, self-care, whatever helps you mentally stay focused, going to pivot shift ahead, morning mindset, those kinds of things. Like I said, they are available every single day. You don't have to go them every single day, but whatever helps you start your morning off right. That allows you to reset, even if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Definitely, make sure to do that for yourself. Or if you're an afternoon workout person, or you go to yoga in the afternoon, or you go on a walk with your friends around town, put that in there. Like I said, maybe not every day, especially because the market's crazy right now. But still good to put that in there. And then make sure you're putting your appointments in your calendar, because then maybe next week you can, especially when you're first starting out, you can look at the weeks previously and be like, okay, maybe I keep skipping this. Maybe I should move it to a different time schedule so that I'm making sure I'm doing it. It's like lead gen. Maybe you try to get on every morning, but then everything gets crazy. You're not able to. So maybe your lead gen is going to be 3 to 4:30 or whatever time it ends up being. So definitely in the beginning, looking at your calendar and putting in all of your schedules, even if you're putting in when you prepped for that listing, when you did that paperwork, put it in there, especially that first month, so that then you can see what really works best for you. But I can tell you, and if you want ask anyone, Claire from Ridgewood, I made her block calendar and she said it changed her life. So I learned a lot of block calendaring from Kaylee as well. So it definitely can be helpful. It's not to make you overwhelmed. It's just to help you understand and look at your calendar and be like, okay, when it's organized like this and I actually follow it, I feel a lot better than just scrambling to do everything. Does anyone have any questions, or, how to do this, or, where I think things should go? Marianne, you're on mute if you're trying to talk.
I think it's great. I really do. And I like the idea of, see how it goes, move things around if that's not, happening for you. This is an easy way to just look at one thing.
Okay.
And this is what I got to do.
Yeah. So like if I scroll the next week, everything's gonna look the same that I put on repeat. So let's say, maybe the prepping for consults, after a few weeks, I realize I never get to it at 11, but I do have some free time at 1 o'clock. Maybe you move that down. And if you move that down, it's going to ask you, do you want to move this for just this event, this and following events, or all events? So you can do this and following events, and that will change, for going forward the rest of the days too. So it definitely can be helpful. Like I said, you don't need to block out your whole day, but the important things I think you should block because it does help you, stay organized and feel more, not successful, but feel more content at the end of the day that you were able to do everything that you, were supposed to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anything else?
I saw that you had like two calendars overlapping. You could see those also. How do you do that?
Yeah, so as you can see on the left, I have a lot of calendars because of a lot of people in the office. We share calendars just to make sure that, if Elise and I share a calendar to make sure, like, if someone calls one of us and we're in a class, that we can send it to the other person if they're not an appointment. So for me, I have my block calendar, and then I have my Reserino calendar. So, like I said, I put when I'm not in the office, I'll put any repeating classes. As you can see, like social management prep, media prep, that's what I save on Fridays because I do some social media for some of the agents. And like I said, I put my personal stuff in here too. So on the 11th, I'm getting my hair done. So I put it in there. I have some tech calls that we get on every single week. All of our staff meetings, any repetitive classes I'll keep on here as well. So you can definitely do two calendars. But again, it can get a little confusing because it'll look like this. So I usually look at whenever I'm making appointments, I'll look at my block calendar and be like, okay, I won't book a class at 11 if I haven't if I have a lot of highlighted tasks. I've been doing a lot more classes and teaching and doing some more back end tech stuff. So lately I haven't had any tasks that are urgent. So that's why I made this class today at 1 though, because I realized I was going to make it at 11, and then that's like breaking my own rules. So I keep that highlighted task. And like I said, if I don't have any highlighted tasks, what I'll do is, things that I've been kind of putting on the back burner that aren't important, but that will, be good. So like today, I've been working on organizing the Ridgewood calendar for the office. That's not something that had to be done because we do have it set up already, but I figured a easier solution. So because I didn't have those highlight tasks, that's what I worked on this morning. So everyone's going to make a block calendar.
Definitely.
Yeah. And if you guys have questions while you're doing it, feel free to reach out. I'll put my email in the chat. You can also call the Ridgewood office. And the Ridgewood office number is 201-445-4300. And you can just say either Reese or my extension's 1512. Any last questions before I let you go? Awesome. And like I said, I'm kind of going to make Wednesdays kind of my social. I teach a class every Wednesday anyway, so I'm going to start making it social media. So like I said, this Wednesday I am doing YouTube videos, and then next week I'm going to do TikTok if you guys are interested in that, and Instagram. And then I'm also doing a class on the 22nd. I'm doing a class at 11 on how to kill your lead gen calls, like in a good way, by using command database. So I think that class will definitely be big too. And hopefully by then you guys have your block calendar, you're killing it. So then guys can ask me any questions on that too. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go for the day and I hope you guys have a great week.
Hey, Reese had a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you guys do a class on like